Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review this evening. Next up is the Marvel 80 years 80th anniversary variant figure. This is the Invincible Iron Man stealth suit version or variant. This is a fan channel exclusive showing up at GameStops now. All the other websites, EE, Amazon even, I think it's all expected in November. For whatever reason, GameStop is just getting everything super early and out to everybody. So my local GameStop got this today along with the Giant Man from Captain America Civil War, as well as the Punisher War Machine figure, which I just reviewed. So check that out if you haven't already watched. Here we have Iron Man, and this thing, when it was first announced, I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, of course I'm going to order it. But looking at this thing in hand, this thing is awesome. Like, I don't know if I'll be able to truly get how the paint apps on this thing really look through the video, and I hope I could really get it to where it seems like you have it in hand, because this thing just blew me away when I got it in hand. I'm like, oh, this thing's awesome. So hopefully you guys will be able to see that come through here in the video. But anyway, we'll get to it. So we have kind of the blue theme going, but it is the Invincible Iron Man. It is the same body mold as the one from the Black Panther Wave 1 figure. It is the same, or the infamous Iron Man Doctor Doom figure. It is, again, the same figure repainted, which all of these variants are, hence variant. But anyway, really cool. We get the Iron Man logo there up top, Marvel 80 years logo on the top corner there. Side artwork looking pretty awesome, and I think that's got to be new original artwork, because I'm not 100% certain that this suit is actually in the comics. Now, there has been a stealth suit Iron Man before with a blue similar type of color, but this particular suit in that color scheme, I don't know if that actually happened in the comics below. Now, this is the newest suit, and I did read some of that story arc, and I don't remember in any of that I read, and I think I read the first 8 issues or whatever it was, that he had this suit, and you know, during Civil War. I didn't actually read the Civil War II event, so I don't know, but you guys let me know down in the comments below if you saw it or not. So really cool. We have a look at the figure here. It has a real speckled look to it, and the way it looks in this promo image isn't exactly how it looks in figure form, and I would argue that the figure form actually looks better than this, even though that itself actually does look pretty cool too. But just my opinion, but we'll get to that bio. Iron Man. Tony Stark modifies his suit for stealth capabilities to take on cybernetically enhanced ninjas. Ninjas? There were ninjas in what I read. I'd have to go back. I don't know if I still have any of those comics, but I'd have to go back. I remember that is from you know, that storyline, so maybe it was in there. I just don't remember the stealth suit being used. I'm going to go back in my comics before I continue on with the review and check. But here's a close look at that figure. That is absolutely awesome. Let's get to it. Here in a second, you're going to see the figure, and I'll talk about the suit if it was in the comics or not, hopefully. Okay, guys, are you ready for this? Invincible Iron Man number 3. In the end of the comic, this was the awesome one, the facial hair bros. Is that what he called themselves? Anyway, yeah, awesome facial hair bros. Same comic. Boom. There is the stealth suit making its debut in only one of 2 comics where it actually is. So it is comic accurate. So pretty cool. So Invincible Iron Man number 3, and then also Invincible Iron Man number 4 is actually where the sword comes from. So at the beginning of the book, you could see he switches to the stealth suit and he's fighting ninjas. So at some point, I believe he actually gets one of the swords, but pretty cool panel right here where he's fighting them, and then there's where those swords are. Pretty awesome. And let's see, right... So here's where he actually grabs one of those swords. So pretty cool. There it is. So yes, it is comic accurate. So Invincible Iron Man number 3 and Invincible Iron Man number 4. Alright, and here is the stealth suit Invincible Iron Man figure out of the package, and this thing is awesome. So here how it's actually coming through on camera, it actually looks to be kind of a little bit darker than it actually really is in hand. And then from the comic panels, it actually looked more of like a black color with the blue really kind of coming through. So as we get in closer to the figure, I want you to kind of see the coloring of it, because this thing has like this it's like a slate. I don't want to go back to the War Machine Punisher because definitely is a different type of gray, but it's a metallic color that really kind of shines through, so it's got a nice sheen to it. So hopefully in the close-up you guys can see that, and then we'll go over the articulation and do some comparisons, of course. So let's get to it. Okay, so I'm going a little bit brighter in here so you guys can really see the color of the gray. It just really pops and stands out and looks really good. I like the way the contrast of the blue and the silver dark gray really kind of come together. I really like the way it looks. And again, I think this one is one that needs to be more appreciated in hand than looking at images or even through video, but it all looks really good. Now the blue is all done kind of in the line work of the sculpt itself, and it's all done clean. I have no issues with the blue or anything. Even throughout the back of the figure we get a lot of the blue there, so that looks good. We get some of the shading effect with the blue to make it look like the arc reactor is glowing, so you actually get some white in there, so that looks pretty good. Here on the helmet it looks pretty good, so let's darken this up a little bit to how I would have it normally. Yeah, I think it looks really good. One of the cool things is that this sword, and I think this is brand new mold, looking at that handle, it's actually got some weight to it now. It's just got some yellow translucent plastic in there, and of course it's soft and pliable, but looks really good. So we'll see if he can hold it, because he actually comes with new hands that the other Iron Man figures didn't have before, so we'll kind of test that out. But let's look at his articulation. So I really liked the Iron Man figure when it was first released in that Black Panther Wave 1. So with this figure, it's going to be the same thing. So I do really like it, and I really like the color scheme of it. Knowing that it is absolutely accurate to the comics is actually definitely a plus too as well. So articulation-wise, I think this one was always pretty good. So he can look down, he can look up, so you can get him into some nice good flight poses. Shoulders can go up that high. You get a full rotation, of course. There is an upper bicep swivel in there. You get a double jointed elbow, as you can see there. So I'm trying to work that second joint. Let's see, there we go. Double jointed elbow. The wrist swivel. Some hands hinge, so the arc reactor ones where you can actually pour it in these effect pieces, and the effect piece just has some white plastic and it gets into some blue. They're not translucent like we normally see. These hands do not have a hinge, so you're not going to move those around, but you could pop those off. And then he comes with a set of fist hands. And then he also has the open holding hands, so he can hold the sword. And we'll actually look at that a little bit later. But these other hands, they do have a hinge on them. So that'll be for the same for both sides. Ab crunch, he can crunch forward that much. He can crunch back that much, so good motion there. There is a waist swivel on this guy. His legs, they do go that far apart. He can kick forward that much, so great motion there. It goes back a tiny little bit. There is an upper thigh cut, but there we go. You got to break it in a little bit. You get a double jointed knee, which works out well. There's no boot swivel of any kind. Foot hinges all the way down. Hinges up, but you want to be careful with it. I don't want to be breaking this foot. Actually, I think the first original Iron Man, a lot of people were breaking the feet. Hinges up that much, and then there is ankle pivot. So actually, you want to be probably a little bit more careful. I was being a little careless, but now that I think about it, I do remember a lot of the feet actually breaking on it. So there is the articulation. Let's look at the hand and that sword. So the unfortunate thing with these holding hands is you could see the regular hands actually have like that arc reactor glow on the back of them. Same with the other ones that are pointed up, and you actually get some white in there to give it that glowing effect. These holding hands don't have that, and I think it's a little bit of some laziness there. So I think they just included some open hands that would be able to hold the sword, and not necessarily something that they made for Iron Man. Now I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but you could see that that was a little lazy on their end to avoid making a new sculpt, which I think the sword is a new sculpt. It doesn't look familiar. You guys let me know down in the comments below. So I think it is different from the one that came with Taskmaster, but maybe I'm wrong on that. I'll actually have to kind of look into that. So the handle on this sword is pretty large. The fist, the open holding hand, it makes it a little bit tough. So you have to kind of work the sword in there to get him to hold it, but then he holds it nice and snug. well, I guess it's a little bit loose, but it's not going to fall out or anything like that. So then he has the sword that he had from that comic run in Invincible Iron Man 3 and 4. So pretty cool. And I just double checked. It is the same as the one that came in the Taskmaster from the Onslaught wave, or the Red Skull Onslaught wave. So same sword. Okay, so here's the comparison. So you can see the Stealth Suit Iron Man compared to the regular version of the suit, and then we also have the infamous Iron Man, Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. So you can see that these three are the same figure, but this one in the middle, the new one, really stands out to me because it's kind of the way the silver, gray, and the blue come together. It really stands out and is quite nice. So of course, again, they are all the same figure, which makes sense because this is the suit in that run. He has the stealth mode, which then gives it this look, and then Iron Man, during the events of Civil War II, when he's presumed dead or in a coma or whatever it was, Victor Von Doom takes over the suit. So that's why, of course, they are the same. So when repaints and things like this happen, it makes sense. They don't bother me whatsoever, and especially with this current line, them being the variants, makes absolute sense that you would have the same figure, same suit, everything, and then it just changes the color or whatever. That's what a variant is. So it makes sense to me. Everyone's like, oh, it's just a repaint. That's all the figures are. This line, it's exactly what they are. They're not even being shy. They're calling it a variant. But in these cases, it makes complete sense and does look really good. So there you have it. That is also my review. If you guys let me know what you guys think of the video, the figure, also down in the comments below. Are you going to be picking it up? Have you seen it at your GameStop yet? Or are you going to be passing? Remember, fan channel exclusive, so it's going to be available at all online retailers and specialty shops like your local comic shop, GameStop, all that. They are hitting GameStops now. If you guys liked the video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.